Today, we're going to dive into a story about dance, devotion, and divine love, a story that seems to stretch the very fabric of time itself. So take a look at this. It's a 19th century painting depicting a legendary dance, but it asks a really wild question. What if one single dance could last for 4.32 billion years? I mean, that's just a staggering thought, right? And the answer takes us deep into the heart of one of Hinduism's most profound stories.
Okay, so to understand how a dance could possibly last for billions of years, we first need to figure out what we're actually talking about. What exactly is the Raslila?
Well, the name itself gives us a huge clue. Raslila comes from two Sanskrit words. First, you have ras, which can mean nectar, or emotion, or a sweet taste. Then there's lila, which means an act, a play, or a dance. So when you put them together, you get the dance of divine love. It's a beautiful idea for sure, but it's the story behind it that really brings it to life.
As beautiful as that meaning is, the story behind it is even more incredible. And it all happens on one single extraordinary night. So, the story, which you'll find in texts like the Bhagavata Purana, starts in the forest of Vrindavana. It's nighttime, and the young Krishna starts playing his flute. And the music, it's so enchanting, so otherworldly, that it just drifts through the village, calling out to anyone who can hear it.
And the ones who hear this divine melody, they're the gopis, the young cowherding women of the village. They are so completely captivated that they leave everything behind, their homes, their families, all their duties, and they're just drawn into the forest, looking for one thing, the source of that music, Krishna himself.
And this is where the story takes a turn that is just completely mind-bending. Krishna, using his divine power, stretches that one night of dancing to the length of a kalpa. That's a unit of time in Hindu cosmology that equals 4.32 billion years. Just try to wrap your head around that. One night, one dance, lasting for over 4 billion years. Incredible.
Now, a story this amazing didn't just stay locked away in ancient texts. No way. It danced its way right into the very heart of Indian culture, becoming this living, breathing tradition.
The Raslila is a huge theme in so many of India's most famous classical dance forms. You've got Bharatanatyam, Odissi, Manipuri, Kuchipudi, and Kathak. For centuries, artists have been interpreting this divine dance. Here's a beautiful example of this, in the Manipuri style of dance. This particular tradition of performing the Raslila actually started way back in 1779. And, get this, it is still performed every year. That's a powerful testament to how much this story means to people. But what makes it so powerful? What is this story really about?
And that question brings us right to the core of it all. Because while it might sound like a simple romance on the surface, for theologians and devotees, it represents something far, far deeper.
You know, the Bhagavata Purana itself gives us a major hint. It says that anyone who really hears this story will be freed from lust, the disease of the heart. Now, that is a direct challenge to just a simple romantic reading. It's telling us, hey, what's happening on the surface, that's not the real story here.
So this isn't about worldly lust. It's about a deep, soulful, spiritual love. It's not a simple romance. It's a profound reflection of the soul's ecstatic love for God. The gopis leaving their homes isn't about some literal affair. It's a powerful symbol of intense devotion, of leaving all your worldly attachments behind to unite with the divine.
A lot of scholars actually draw a parallel to the Song of Solomon from the Bible. You see, both stories use the passionate language of romance and love as a metaphor to describe the most profound relationship possible, the connection between the human soul and God.
And this interpretation, this whole idea of devotional love, was championed and really brought back to life by a major spiritual figure in the 15th century, and his influence is still felt today.
And this is him, Lord Chaitanya. Back in the 15th century, he basically led a spiritual revolution across India, focusing on this very path of loving devotion, or bhakti. For him, the relationship we see in the Raslila was the absolute highest form of spiritual realization.
See, Chaitanya taught that God wasn't just some abstract force. He was a supreme person, Krishna, with real forms, qualities, and pastimes. And he believed that the easiest way for anyone to connect with this personal God was through simple devotional acts, most famously the public chanting and singing of holy names. This became the Sankirtan movement, and he spread it all throughout India.
So, in the end, the Raslila leaves us with a pretty powerful question to think about.
Through its epic story of a dance that lasts for billions of years, it asks us to reconsider what love really is. Is it possible that the greatest love story ever told isn't between two people at all, but is actually the timeless, ecstatic dance between the individual soul and the divine? Thanks so much for joining me.